All right, guys. So just like we did the isUpperCase method in the last video, um, I guess we can go on and still apply the very same concept to the isLowerCase method. And again, just like I stated before, is methods are going to return Boolean values, and two methods will convert a character, or they can return a converted character. And I kind of didn't specify that difference in the PowerPoint because if you convert something um, to a character, there's a certain way that you'll actually be able to see that conversion, but we'll get into that later. Um, but yeah, we can just go ahead and move into the is lowercase, and it's very similar to the is uppercase. I mean, actually, it's the same thing. Now you're just testing for a lowercase. So we'll go with string my variable, and we'll go ahead and we'll just, I don't know, I'll just do something very random. Don't really feel like thinking of what to name something. Uh, and do my variable 2, and again we'll do a very random thing. Okay. And hopefully I would kind of recommend to go back and see um, the is uppercase video before looking at this one, because I'm actually going to switch up some of the stuff I'm doing as far as being able to express whether something is returning true or false. So what I mean by that is, just like I specified a little earlier, is methods return true or false, two methods return a converted character or convert a character for you. And right now we're doing the is lowercase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if character, we're still working with our character class. All these methods, like I said, are from the character class, and this syntax here specifies that. Okay, and I'm gonna say character dot is lowercase for my variable 2 dot car at, let's see, randomly we're gonna put 4. Okay, and we're gonna say if this is true, let me take away these, I don't need those. I'm gonna say if this is true, this is what we are going to perform. We are going to perform a system.out print line that says congrats bro, it's lowercase. Alright, oh, forgot a quotation mark. Alright, and I really don't feel like counting, okay, but we're going to go ahead and count it out. We're going to say, so for my variable 2, we have 0, so J is 0, F is 1, D is 2, I is 3, and then the other I, the following I is 4. And it looks like that is not lowercase, so we are not going to get this system out. So then we'll go ahead and do an else statement, and we'll say else system out print, like, damn son, it's not lowercase. Sad face. Yeah. Let's hit you with that. Okay. Yeah, and I just kind of noticed that I had that semicolon right here, so I apologize about that. You're not supposed to have that semicolon because then you basically end the if statement. Um, so yeah, my apologies. But yeah, basically, kind of good I made that mistake. One thing you'll learn definitely if um, you ask professor questions and they maybe get a little bit technical while they're up there and they start coding it, even your professors are going to make mistakes. So, um, I'm kind of making these examples up as I go along, and just from my experience with Java when I took it. But yeah, that semicolon is not supposed to be there. The one I had deleted, because if I put it there, I mean my code will still work, but the if statement will basically stop there and it'll ignore the following stuff. That's why if I do put this there, I start getting an error here, because basically the semicolon is saying, hey, you're ending this if statement right here, so anything following this is just regular code that has nothing to do with the if statement. And so then this else looks weird to Java because it's like, hey, where does this else belong? It might, do I belong here? Apparently I don't, because you ended this if right there. But then as you see, if I take away that semicolon, it's like, oh, okay, I belong to this if, because this if was never, it was never ended. So we all rep the same team. We all rep the same team, bro. That's basically it. So, all right. Again, this is a very different way to apply this character class. And while we're checking for a true or false with this is lowercase, because with the is uppercase, all we did was we used the same syntax, but what we did instead is what we had a boolean, and my check equals this whole situation right here, right? And then that we printed out that variable so that we could see if it was true or false. Here, we're setting this character class up as this is getting probably a little further into the course, but we're using this whole thing as a flag. And what that means is it's a flag because this is going to control the flow of your program. If this is true, then we're going to do this. If this is false, then we're going to do this. So that's something you'll learn later on in the semester, is that in certain parameters in an if statement are considered flags, but that it's really not that big of a deal at this point. But anyways, yeah, so we're using this whole thing as a flag to control what action we take, instead of just setting whatever this equals to some arbitrary variable that we decide to make up. So yeah, again, different way to use the character class. And like I said, you're always going to start off the syntax with the name of your class dot the method you want to use, and then you're going to inside this is lowercase parentheses that pop up, you're going to include the variable that you want to check, and then you're going to do a car at method at a certain position, because when you do this, you're like, hey, this is the variable I want to check, okay, and I want to check a certain character in my variable, and then you specify the position, and this whole little thing here is going to return you a character specific to this variable, and then it's going to do the whole character dot is lowercase method, right? Okay, so we know this is going to be false, so we should expect that this message pops up. The damn son. Damn son, it's not lowercase, right? We're gonna throw in a smiley face there. Okay, so that's again a different way to do it. Now we can, let's say 0. So now we're doing my variable to car at 0, which would be the j. And again, just to reinforce, the dot car at method starts off your string at a 0 position. Okay, we will go over different methods that start your string at a position of 1, but know the difference that car at starts those positions at 0. So car at 0 for my variable 2, it's a lowercase j, and we should be golden. Congrats, bro, it's lowercase. Okay, yeah, so that's the isLowerCase method. Yeah, I don't want to go too deep and get too redundant with it. What I really want to enforce with these kind of methods is just look at the way I'm typing the code and understand the structure and what every piece means. So before I end this video, this is something just not necessarily like hardcore coding, but character dot I want to say like whatever method, okay, and then well, really you want to do variable dot car at, and then you put your position. Okay, this might be confusing, this might even be useless, but this is something that definitely helps me and helped me when I looked at code and tried to learn some of these coding concepts when practicing quizzes or just like keeping up with the material. You're gonna start out with that character class dot whatever method you want to use, parentheses, throw in that variable that you want to check. Most likely you will be using a car at method, and then you specify the position of the character you want to check. And this whole thing right here is gonna return a character so that the character class can operate whatever method. Okay, I hope that helps. My goal with a lot of these tutorials is to help you recognize how to look at the code, because to be quite frank, the quizzes, it's just straight up code. It's not going to be multiple choice. It's not true or false questions. It's do you know how to code? So that's why a lot of my videos are very coding intensive, and I'm trying to stress principles that you will come across again and again when it comes to using code for whatever program you need to build. Even when you get to the exams have code written out for you, but you still are accountable for deciphering what the code is doing. So hopefully this little last thing helps, and we'll just go ahead and move on to more methods in the character class.